Hey everybody, welcome to the show. This is the Daytripper Photo Show. Tonight is our photo review episode, and we're staggering it these days. So 1 week is photo review, the next week is a topic. Last week was our topic. This week we're talking about pictures that people have made for the photo challenge for sale, and sweet! Should be fun. So we had a great week. I know I had a really cool week. Lots of cool meetings I had for the Photo Expo and met some great people, and it's coming along very nicely. I've even spoken to Dave Black this week, which was really great. And I know you guys have done some really cool stuff. Navi, all of a sudden, up in the middle of the night, gone. Tobermory. What's that all about?
Oh, I didn't feel like sleeping. So
It's just as easy as that.
Well, just sitting around all day, I like either my computer or in front of the TV. I haven't done anything where I'm just whatever. I'm just go out and shoot. So, what's 11:30 or 11 o'clock at night? Why not?
That's what everybody does.
That's awesome.
That was pretty good. So, happened to easily convince Louise, my friend Louise. So I was like, hey, we want to go for a midnight road trip. And she was at her mom's for Easter. She's like, I'm hanging with my mom's sister. I'm like, that's fine. I'm leaving in an hour, so you have time. So she's like, yeah, okay. So
and that's it?
That was pretty much it. We left by maybe 12:15. Got there by 3:30, I think. Maybe 4 o'clock, and we stopped. And
cool.
Napped in the parking lot and then shot the sunrise.
Oh, so cool. Did you get some good shots?
That's awesome.
Yeah. Pardon?
Did you get some good shots?
Yeah, I got some pretty decent shots, so... And then we just drove home. We were home by 1 p.m., and I was in bed by 2 p.m.
Oh, wow.
Those are fun days. They're so important to have days like that. Like, we have a day planned, the three of us, next Wednesday, and I can't wait for it. And I don't want to sound too eager, because certain people back out of things when they feel people are too eager.
I feel your expectations are too high. I'm feeling pressured. I'm out.
What have you been up to this week, man?
It's been a fun week. Been a little bit of a slower week, which has been nice because you always know when my office looks like a bomb hit it. I've been really busy, so it gave me a chance to clean up my office a little bit and do some stuff around the house and finish up the bathroom and stuff. But yeah, it's been fun.
So what's this about this 50mm lens?
Oh yeah. We went to on Good Friday. We went to the zoo with another family we go on road trips and stuff a lot with, and so I was packing our day bag. When you're traveling with kids, you have to. It's like 75 bags for a 5-hour trip, with food and change of clothes and medic packs and stuff. And
sounds like next Wednesday for us, right?
yeah, probably.
I'm pretty sure you probably brought more stuff with you than I did with me for my 12-hour trip.
Probably did, yeah. But children are annoying when they're hungry, so you make sure to bring lots and lots of food.
I brought Tabasco sauce. It was fine.
So as I was packing the camera gear, I was looking at all my lenses, my huge assortment of lenses, and I'm like, okay, so we're going to the zoo, and I decided to just bring the 50. And I didn't really know why I picked it, and I was thinking maybe I'll shoot in black and white and stuff, but I decided instead of, like, you go to the zoo and there's 10,000 people with massive zoom lens, and everybody's trying to zoom through the fence and get a picture of the animals and stuff. And honestly, there's better zoos for that kind of stuff, much better zoos for that kind of stuff than the Toronto Zoo. And so instead of trying to go to the zoo and capture the animals, every single picture I took was of either one of my family members or we ended up going actually with 2 other families, was of them enjoying the zoo. So instead of a picture of a lion, it was the mother holding her daughter up, talking to her while pointing at the lion, and the lion was completely out of focus. I got the 1.4, so I was shooting about a stop and a half overexposed to get that really kind of cool high key look, and I had it on a custom white balance to give it so you don't have to edit pictures after to give them that neat toning and stuff, and they were tack sharp, and the lion it almost didn't even matter what they were looking at. It was just that moment between the 2 of them. And I was really, really happy with the pictures. It was and all the families, if I had gone and tagged along with the other 2 families and taken 500 pictures of dolphins and or not dolphins, penguins and bears and stuff. They'd be like, oh, no, nice picture, nice picture. But now these were, 86 pictures of them interacting with their kids looking at the animals.
And those are the things that people used to shoot back in the day, like when we had film cameras. That's all I remember back looking through my old photo albums was pictures of us, the kids and the family and interactions and telling the story of what happened during the day. That's the most important thing, and that 50 mil's awesome for that.
Yeah, and in all honesty, most of the time the animals are freaking boring anyways. Yeah, they're asleep.
Actually, Michelle has a question here. It kind of relates to where you're at in the conversation. She says, so what zoos are better than the Metro Zoo? So I'm going to quickly jump in. We've run trips to a lot of really cool places, and for me, the best ever was the Muskoka Wildlife Center because you can get no fences and things like that. Unfortunately, it's gone. Northwood Zoo is another one we did as a day trip, and that would be a little bit better because the cages are bigger, right? So you don't have such tight confines for the cages.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I'll say the Elmville Zoo. We've had the best success at the Elmville Zoo. It is fantastic. Not for all for the birds and stuff, it's not that great. But for the larger animals, you can get a lot closer to the fence. So if you don't know, one of the secrets to shooting animals is bring a zoom lens, go as fast as you can with the glass, and zoom in, and it'll sort of zoom past the fence. And sorry, distracted for a second. And at the Elmville Zoo, you can get a lot closer. You can zoom in a lot closer. And then there's other things like you can feed giraffes. You pay 50 cents or whatever. You get a handful of feed, and the giraffe will come and eat it from your hand. And getting pictures of people with their hand out, giraffes eating from their hand. It's always incredible expressions and stuff where you just don't get the opportunity to do stuff like that at the Toronto Zoo.
That's true. Toronto Zoo, we've actually lost people on a day trip at the Toronto Zoo. It's just kind of crazy.
It's great for getting your steps. But,
especially going to the Canadian Pavilion.
Oh, yeah. You know that hill?
Mm.
So I was joking around about that hill, and I said, and one of the girls there, she's like, well, I can run up and down this hill 3 or 4 times. And I'm like, well, I'll walk up it, but I'll take the wagon. And then Trish says, Gabriel will walk up it, and he'll take the wagon with 2 children. So I'm dragging the wagon with 100 pounds of children in it, and I ended up actually running up half the hill. But that's quite the hill.
Yeah, that's a trek. People don't go to the Canadian Pavilion because of that hill.
Yeah.
It's true. Well, anyway,
halfway down, the main feature is a raccoon.
Yeah, exactly. And if you see them,
really,
just come to Algonquin with us on the next day trip. You'll see some of that stuff. And we won't talk about raccoons, right, Nevi?
Nope.
So aside from that, good. I'm glad you guys both had an interesting week, and it's really cool. Actually, on the lens topic, on the 29th, I've just confirmed with our buddy Don Komarechka, who's going to be on the show, and we're going to do a show called Seeing Beyond Your Lens. So I'm going to put a challenge out to the panel and to Don, and we're each going to pick a lens, and we're going to share some photos that we've made with that lens and talk about how we could use it for things other than, what people would normally use it for. So I'm picking the 50 mil. Just going there. Just putting it out there quick.
Oh, you suck.
I know. Shotgun. Anyway, so that'll be interesting. And next topic show is going to be hopefully from Algonquin Park. So we'll see how we can do something with that. Could be a lot of fun. And to everybody who celebrated Easter, happy Easter. And if you celebrated Passover, happy Passover. That's all I have to say about that.
And if you don't celebrate it, enjoy the days off.
Exactly. Okay, so what else have we got here going on here? That's about it, isn't it? Oh yeah, big challenge for next photo challenge. We're changing it up a little bit. We didn't get a lot of photos for this week's photo challenge. Now that's okay. Life happens. People get busy. It's all good. It just makes for a shorter show for us, which isn't so bad. However, to kind of challenge some folks, because thinking maybe it could be a little bit of lack of challenge for some people. I mean, sweet. There's a lot of things you can take pictures of for sweet, and for sale is pretty general. You can do a lot of things with that. But for next challenge, we're going to talk about it obviously later now, but it should be really cool. Let's just quickly go to the Q&A before we get into the meat and potatoes of the show. Yeah, no snakes. Let's see what's there. Start at the bottom. Oh, Joseph, yes, we went live. Elmville Zoo, that's where Gabriel was suggesting. Dixie, I don't think she's going to make a cameo on tonight's show. I think she's asleep in the closet right now. Favorite zoo is Jungle Cat World. Have you guys been to Jungle Cat World before?
I have no idea where that is.
No.
No, we went to, when I was a kid, we went to African Lion Safari, and the monkeys peed in my mother's face. But that was a different conversation for a different day.
It makes for great photos. You get that emotion shot with the 50, you know,
the pee.
Yeah.
And I could have used the mirror that was in the window. Remember those old Dodge van mirrors that you can move on the sides?
Yeah.
Just angle that magnifier right up in there. Anyway, I think you put way too much thought into that. Oh, and Jennifer, yes, this is interesting. Navi, you're going to really appreciate this. She's so excited for the show because she wants to win. She has so many burning questions for Navi, specifically about photographing cats and babies, together, separately.
Get it? Perfect.
There you go. Perfect. And she really does feel like photographing cats, especially cats, is critical to her development as a photographer. Well, you know, I don't really disagree with that. I'm a fan of shooting cats. I don't really know if you're serious or not. But if you are serious, there are challenges with shooting cats. If you're not serious, okay, so let's just keep moving on.
I'm a fan of shooting cats, too. You see the bow and arrow back there?
Okay.
They're pooping in my backyard, and it's driving me insane.
You sure it's not people?
No.
No, okay, just checking. What are cats doing and pooping in your backyard? How many cats do you have running around your house?
There's like 11 wild cats in this neighborhood, and it needs to stop yesterday.
Well, there are laws about that,
cats outside. I know, it's crazy, but I mean, how do you follow the cat back to its house? I mean,
Daytripper Photo is not responsible for the actions Gabriel Bousquet takes.
I would never harm a cat. I like cats, but I will get off my lawn.
Okay. Fair enough. Jennifer says she doesn't like the Northwood Zoo at all, mainly because they surprised me by having a huge snake in the admissions area, and I'm petrified of snakes, even caged ones, and I wanted to run screaming for the hills. That sucks, Jen. That's not cool. We've been there, and I don't think we're going to go back. I wasn't a super fan of the conditions of the animal. I don't really know legally if they're good or bad. I just got a vibe. You know what I mean? You get vibes off animals. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, not going back. Jungle Cat is near Bowmanville. Bowmanville Zoo is actually quite nice, too. Oh. That's where they got the lion fur.
And if you're going for birds, that place that we went to down in Niagara was fantastic.
Oh, Bird Kingdom. Awesome. Awesome.
That's the best place in the world for birds, and then they also have a butterfly area there.
The Butterfly Conservatory. It's a little different there. It's kind of closed in. Shelley got very claustrophobic in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then we tried to find our way out, and she started freaking out. And if there's lots of people in there in the middle of July, just, you know, it's
okay, Daytripper photo tip. When you go to the Butterfly Pavilion, don't bring Shelley with you.
Fair enough. Got it. And hey, Stan, how's it going? Okay, so let's get into our show for tonight. Okay, so the photo challenge, Navi's going to do a screen share for us. We're going to get into reviewing these, but before we get into that, I just want to remind people, if you like our show, if you enjoy what we're doing, please go to our YouTube channel, click like, subscribe, share this with your friends. We have a great time doing it, but it's really good getting some feedback that, you know, we're helping somebody out there. So if you want to do that, that's a great way to do it. And also, I'd just like to thank LensPen for their generosity. They always give us these great prizes to give away for our photo challenges, and this week is no different. We have another one of the LensPen with the pad cleaning kits. I have it in a box down here. I just didn't want to make a lot of noise, but apparently I'm making noise to do it. So, yeah, it's not there. It's at work. So anyway.
That was a real build-up for...
Yeah. It's a kit. You've seen it before. Watch our previous episodes and you'll see a lens pen and a little pad, a little bigger than this Smart Clear one, which is still pretty cool. Anywho,
that's what we get buying from back there, but you were making fun of my pajama bottoms, so better luck.
That's all right. Next week you don't have to worry about that. It won't be a live show, maybe.
Okay.
So you can wear your pajama bottoms at 9:30. Okay, so that's it. Let's get into the show. Why don't we do that? Navi, you've got it already up there.
Yep.
What are you sure? Oh.
My favorite cat. Actually, no, my favorite cat is Hello Kitty, but this comes in a close second.
Have you guys seen the cat named Bubs?
I have not.
Bubs the cat? No? Oh, you've got to search Bubs the cat. Yeah.
Is he a new internet? Oh my God.
Yeah, he's a new internet sensation.
Oh, he's like the opposite of Grumpy Cat.
Yeah, he's like super lip drooly cat.
He's cuter than Grumpy Cat.
That's got to be like he had a stroke or something.
Jennifer's just got to be over the moon right now with what we're doing.
Is there a picture of Bubsy Cat with a baby?
Uh-oh, now we're in trouble. Speaking of trouble, Dixie has made an appearance, and she's in the litter box. This is not good things for me. Okay, so why don't we cut to the actual...
Oh, some guy's got a Bubsy Cat tattoo. Like,
where?
From his armpit, like, here, I'll do a quick... Why am I describing it when I can... There you go.
Little bub.
Weird.
Because my faith in the human race wasn't shattered enough.
Look, the cat was on Weiss.
Guys, focus.
We're squirreling. We're bubsing.
Totally, we're bubsing.
We're buzzing.
And yes, Jennifer's very happy.
All right. Oh, look, he's reading a book.
Okay, I have to send out a quick apology to Bonnie, who just joined our show, just joined in here. Sorry you're late, and you have to tune in and watch the cat show.
It's This Week in Bubsy.
This Week in Bubsy. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, look, you can read a book.
We've lost control, folks.
All right.
There we go. Oh, look, this is a bit more familiar, and there's another cat. Okay. So this is the first photo. Okay, so I just wanted to remind people, when we're doing our photo critiques, here's what it is. It's 3 people who've been making photos for a little while, who've issued a photo challenge, who are then going to look at your photos, hopefully give you some tips that might, I don't know, give you some different ideas on how you could have shot it or things to try. We're not going to say good or bad. I mean, that's not up to us to judge. We're not saying, your photos suck or your photos are, well, I probably will say a couple times how much I love a picture, but we're allowed to do that. So
if we don't say that we love it, we mean that it sucks. Okay.
You're getting me in big trouble.
Yeah.
Photo show number 124, cats. Fantastic. Okay, so again, just to remind everybody, we have a great time doing the show. We're not going to try and offend anybody, and if you want to give us your opinions on what we're talking about right now, use the Q&A for that, and that'll be great. All right, so let's get into the first photo. So this is Hallie's photo. Now, the first time I saw this, I thought it was super interesting. I mean, I haven't seen this kind of a spoon holder. I love that trickle down, the terrace effect of the honey. But when we were talking earlier, you guys made some really interesting points about lighting and so on. And then I started noticing some other things. So, Gabriel, why don't you start with your opinion on this shot?
Well, it's very well thought out. I like the concept. I like I like the concept. It's not something that I would think of putting together, and it looks like using honey for it, good viscous material and stuff. The one thing that kind of draws me away from it being a really interesting image is that the light is very sort of blah. Like when I look at it, it looks like it was shot in an art gallery. The lighting tends to be pretty kind of uniform, and it's not, there's no special lighting on it, and so that kind of draws me out of it a little bit. But besides that, I mean, I like just about everything else about it.
Mm-hmm. So by special lighting, I mean, there's a few things that I like to talk about sometimes, and one of those is contrast, and how contrast will draw your eye away from a focal point and kind of mess with what you're looking at. Obviously, the item itself, the spoons and the coil, is very close to the wall, which makes the wall very much in focus. Now, the lighting being, as Gabriel suggests, like a museum kind of a quality, is very not very even light, not really lending drama to something. And I notice, because there's so much texture on the back wall, in the top left corner there's a nail that's been put in the wall and spackled over, and it adds a bit of contrast, and that draws my eye up and away from...
This here?
Yeah, exactly.
Odd.
Now, I'm not asking Hallie to redo her wall. I mean, that's not at all what I'm thinking. Just by pulling that away from the wall further, and by modifying your lighting, you can add a completely different drama and make the background softer. That's my thought. Nabi, what do you think?
I agree with most of what you guys said there. I love the concept, and when I first saw this, I thought it was really interesting. So that's a spoon holder, like that is a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I think so.
I didn't know that, so I thought it was really cool that she put this together, and she
I
added.
thought it was just like a car part.
It looks like a spring to me. Like I've never seen that. So, really, really cool idea. On the topic of contrast, I see this, the sort of the highlights there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that sort of kind of distracts my eye, but pretty much what Gabriel said, I agree with. Like just sort of the more even lighting. I would like to see this shot, again to see if you want to try some different lighting, sort of something more dramatic. And get
Even
more texture maybe in here to kind of emphasize this, right?
Yeah, like even have a light above shining down that's sort of snooted. For those of you who don't know what a snoot is, it's a kind of like a reverse funnel that you can put on the end of a lighting apparatus, a flash or a studio light, to make your really, really pinpoint your light in one area. And if you had a snoot maybe firing down on there and really light up the liquid, the honey or maple syrup or whatever it is, then that could make it a lot more dynamic.
Yeah, Jennifer says it's just a spring. So it looks like it's a spoon holder, but it's a spring.
Yeah.
And she also says you're awesome, Gabriel, so don't piss her off. Just saying.
If I'm awesome, I can't piss her off because everything that I say has an air of awesomeness.
Did you see what I just did, though? Just saying. Did you catch that?
Oh yes. Our conversation earlier about people that are usually people that are just saying aren't just saying.
Exactly. Ali says it's an industrial spring, so it's actually not a spoon holder, and there's a lot more creativity in choosing that to hold spoons.
Good.
Very cool.
Very cool. Okay, Jennifer
So
actually
it's a good photo, but we can all see ways that it could become a great photo.
Yeah, it's that extra 10%, right, guys? We all want to make a great photo, and that 10% of detail, whether it's lighting, composition, or processing, makes a huge difference in the vibe you get from it. Jennifer says, Hallie, I think this idea is super awesome, and I can only imagine how much patience it would have taken to balance those spoons, especially with dripping honey on them. That's very true, too. Like, if it's not natural for those spoons to sit there, the process to build that up would be a real chore, I would imagine. Interesting.
I thought she thought of the idea to use a random spring in it. So cool.
Awesome. All right, so let's look at the next shot.
Wow, super out of order.
Now, I don't know what happened with the website or with the community this week, but when people posted it to the Weekly Photo Challenge, not all of them were actually in the Weekly Photo Challenge thread.
Area. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we're looking at it through the main page right now. So if we miss somebody's, please remind us. We're trying to find everybody's. It's not anybody's fault. You all shared it properly. It's just something with Google Plus by the seams of it. So here's another one. In the comments, she said something about the sweet or for sale because the husband doesn't like the cat and the baby's sweet. And Jen wanted to submit this because it's both cats and babies, which
my favorite.
Past shows that we've determined that's Navi's absolute favorite thing.
I like babies. I like photos of babies more so than photos of cats.
I'm more the person that doesn't like the babies, I think.
Yeah, they were.
Well,
I think the whole thing with babies in baskets and pumpkins and stuff that I'm crazy about. But like I take photos of Callie all the time. Not a baby anymore, but I like babies.
What'd you say, Gabriel, about being human?
Yeah, well, babies are human, and you dislike most humans. You like all non-living humans, like zombies and stuff like that, but you dislike most living humans. So
I dislike humankind, but I like individual people. I should form a religion somehow around that. But anyway, we'll get to that another time too. Sorry, Jennifer, taking away from your photo here. Okay, so here's my thoughts on this. First of all, I love cats, and I don't mind cat pictures. They really don't bother me at all. My thing, though, with it is it has to be kind of a unique perspective. So the baby in the Jolly Jumper and the cat, it's a cute relationship between them. I think I would have liked to seen it a bit closer in just to show the baby and the cat. Maybe crop out the top so you don't see the springies and just kind of get the relationship, the look between the baby's eye and the cat, and how the cat's being cute with the baby and the baby's all get that I love. I love the story that's being told. But I think possibly getting in a bit closer is an interesting way to go. I think it was Henri Cartier-Bresson who said that if the photo doesn't inspire you get closer or something to that effect. And I think that's kind of what I'm wanting from this picture, Jen. Other than that, it's a cute shot of a cat and a baby. What do you think?
Yeah, it's more of a snapshot. It's I don't want to say snapshot. It's a lot of wedding photography is being ready with the camera at the right time, and you're obviously ready with the camera at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not. It doesn't look like a picture that was planned or set up or lighting intention gone into it or anything like that. But it is a cute picture.
No, yeah. That's a valid point, and to be fair, a lot of my favorite photos are photos that were just snapshots. Pictures that I had the camera with me when I needed it, and I happened to get the shot. I can think of one particular case that applies to what I would suggest for this is when I was walking around Fairy Lake, and there were newborn Canada goose babies walking around. It was all really cute. I actually took my camera and put it on the ground, and I got a picture of the Canada goose babies that looked like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. They were very large, and I was almost looking up at them when everybody else was taking pictures with their cell phones and cameras from their standing height. So always remember, when you see things from the same height all the time, it's not going to look more unique to you, and you're just not going to get that same kind of emotion from the photo. Whereas if you get at a lower perspective or an interesting angle like that, you might feel something more from it. That's my only take. And Jen says she likes the idea, Bryan. She should have cropped out the springy thing at the top and the ugly mat he was jumping on. This is why we're talking about these things. If you hadn't thought of it before, maybe when you're in that situation again, you'll just think one step forward, one step back. Gabriel, you gave this example when we do our photo day trips. You take 3 pictures for every shot you take, right?
Yes.
And explain that. Do you remember that? No. Put you on the spot all the time. I'm sorry.
I remember the concept behind it. I remember that there was a concept behind it. I'm sure it's something that I continue to do, but I don't necessarily remember.
It kind of reverberated with me quite a bit because when sometimes you're taking a picture, just one step to the left, one step to the right, and one step.
Oh, right, yeah.
It just kind of makes you realize that there's more going on than just what you see here.
Right. Yeah, so that all spawned from, I think it was Scott Kelby was saying, remember that he would go out for a workshop and everybody would set up their tripods, and then he'd come back 10 minutes later and everybody's in the exact same place in their tripods, right? And he was saying, you remember your camera is a spaceship, right? Move it around. So every picture that I would take, especially on that Algonquin trip, thanks for reminding me of that, I would take, one at eye level, just like our natural instinct. Hey, cool, click. Right, and then okay, now what can I do? One right down low, and then one behind me, or vertical, or horizontal, or something like that. And usually it was the one that I took down low that I ended up liking more.
Mm-hmm. And by no means are we saying you have to compose a certain way. It's just we kind of vibe off of photos when we look at them, as all people do. And if we're just not getting that vibe, there's a reason. So we dig into it a bit. Stan asked us a question. He goes, sorry for interrupting, but how can I submit photos for the challenge? So here's how you do it. At the end of this episode, we're going to give a photo challenge for the next 2 weeks. During those 2 weeks, take any photo you want. They have to be new images. And actually, it's going to be 5 photos for this week, or this next 2 weeks. And submit those photos to the Daytripper photo community on Google+. And when you submit them,
is everybody frozen or just
tag them? Did I just froze? Yeah, I froze.
Yep.
I'm back.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So basically, when you submit your photos, hashtag them for the theme. So if the theme was sweet, hashtag sweet, and then put them in the weekly photo challenge thread. And then that way, theoretically, we'll be able to see them quicker. All right, cool. Thanks for sharing that, Navi. Why don't we move on to the next one?
Cool. Actually, for this one, I kind of wish I could see the cat's face. See if he was like loving the pets and whatnot, hanging out with the baby.
It'd be best if you could see both of their face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or maybe waited for the cat to maybe spin around, or on the other side of it. But yeah, I agree with you, Bryan, with like getting closer.
Mm-hmm.
That would be good. All right.
So this one took me a second. I'm sorry because I'm slow. I'm thinking,
that took me a second too.
What's the theme for this? Is it for sale or is it what's the other one? Sweet. I mean, it's not sweet. And I used, oh, Fours Ale. And it's like, click. Oh, I'm stupid. Yeah. It's very
clever one.
Very clever, yeah. I thought it was a really neat idea. It's interesting, though. Your focus is great. The theme is great. I'd like to hear if there's a story behind the positioning of how everything is. Just compositionally, I think I'm a little bit disconnected for some reason, and honestly, I can't kind of put my finger on it. You mentioned something about lighting, Navi?
Yeah, similar to the honey spoon one. It's, again, it's sort of just an even lighting kind of thing. I think I would have liked it to see something a little more dramatic.
So a lot of shadows, like going every direction.
Yeah, and like in this case, there's like a warmer tone over here. Like the color temperature is different, so that kind of throws off my eyes. It's very, I think it looks like a window here, right? So it's more of a bluish tone, and then you have the probably just your regular indoor light, which is more yellow here. So it kind of just throws me off a little bit because there's like a strange mix of color temperature.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so similar to the spoon one, I think I would have liked something a little more dramatic, but that's me.
Yeah, something like this is almost a product photography shot. I'd say it's maybe a little bit of a lifestyle shot because of the bowl of munchies back there, but I'd like to see the bowl brought forward, the beer on the left moved in a little bit, and then either do like an all black or an all white background that's a little bit more evenly lit.
Mm-hmm.
And that make it a little bit more punchy. But it's yeah.
Yeah, actually, the point of bringing the snacks to the front, you're creating a triangle. And compositionally, triangles are very easy for the eye to follow. And when we do that and we bring the bottle forward, I can see how that would create the triangle. Maybe get the horn up at an angle, and you've got the bottles leading into the food, into the snacks. Again, 10% difference, right? It's the composition, how you pull it forward, and how you do that little bit of extra difference that just brings it to a different level. Once I got the concept, I thought it was awesome. I love the theme, Fours Ale. I want to try some. But I think those are all really good points, guys. Thanks. And, okay, so Jen shared a photo for us, guys. I'm going to do a quick screen share here and pray my computer doesn't explode. There you go. So we wanted to see face of both of them. So Jen sent us a photo with the face of both of them, the baby and the cat. All right, sorry. Don't want to take too long away. Go ahead.
The baby looks adorable. The cat's like really another picture. I haven't even bathed.
Okay, Navi, why don't we go on to the next shot? All right, so this one got some great response from the two of you.
Love it.
Navi, I'd love to hear what your thoughts were on this, because you made some really good points.
I love this photo. Really good leading lines, like with the way the napkin is. It kind of just draws your eye to this stack of delicious cookies. And then, we were sort of talking about how, what is the story? Is it the cookie or the cookies or the milk? I think it's both because they kind of coincide with each other, right?
Milk and cookies, yeah.
Yeah, best buddies. The only thing for me is the placement of the milk. I don't have a problem with it being behind, but I kind of wish it was either a little bit more to the left, like really committed to being behind the cookie, or farther out where it's not just kind of the edges of the cookie kind of grazing it. That's all. But
okay,
overall, I love the shot.
So you shoot a lot of food. Is that something that you try and do? You try and, like, what's the concept of that? Just moving it a little bit to fully commit behind the cookies?
For me, honestly, it's just me looking at it and seeing if I like it. Like, for some shots, I did my lost photo with all the fruits. It literally took me, I think, 2 hours just kind of playing around with the placement of the different fruits until I liked the shot. So, maybe it may work for some people, it may not. So just for this picture, for me, I think I would have liked it a little bit better if the milk was either more, like, a bit more behind or a little bit more farther out, as opposed to little edges like that. But overall, great shot.
Nice. And I should mention this is from Bonnie. You can see on her watermark there. Gabriel, what did you think?
First of all, I'm not a huge fan of watermarks, but I don't mind that one.
I was just gonna say, yeah, it's really actually nice. Like, it goes really well. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't detract from the photo. It's not huge. It's not in the way, but the font and the style of the watermark matches the photo, which is hard to do and well done. Growing up on a dairy farm and then having one of my closest friends is a dairy farmer, you know, this could be a milk commercial. So it's well, you know, I love like the details, and this is what I love. This is the 5%. It's a great tablecloth. Right, it's the good color. It's a good pattern. The napkin, from what it looks like, it looks like it could be a cloth, like a cloth napkin. You know, if it's not, then it's a paper napkin in really good shape. The lighting is good. You know, having the old style bottle with the straw that has the blue and the white in it that matches, you know, the background and the tablecloth. I mean, it's all. The details are fantastic. The attention to detail is fantastic. The lighting is great. I would agree with Navi. Like, I didn't really notice it until she mentioned it, but now that she mentioned it, it's like, yeah, okay. You know, I'd say go over a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right with the milk bottle. But I love this picture.
Excellent observations, guys. That's really cool. For me, again, I agree with you. I love the color. I love the tone of it. I love the clarity, the lighting. My only thought would be, and I didn't honestly think about the little bits of cookie in front of the glass. That's why I asked Navi the question. I was really trying to find out myself, is that a rule that you should do, put a commit behind it or put it beside? It's just an artistic way of looking at things. That's great too. For me, though, what the problem, I don't even want to say problem, my only observation would be to pull everything further away from the background. Cookie and milk, same distance, just kind of pull them away from the background, because the shadow cast on the background from the milk jug is a little bit contrasty, as I'm saying, and yeah, exactly. It kind of pulls me to that, right? I'm looking from the milk to the background, when what I want to do is look milk to cookies.
Right.
So by pulling that away from the background, it's going to make the background softer, a little bit less in focus, and less distracting. And it's also going to extend the distance of light from the shadow point, the straw, to the wall, making it softer. So that would be my only suggestion. Otherwise, yeah, it's a really cool shot, and I think they made really great points. And Bonnie says it is a cloth napkin, Gabriel.
Okay, yeah, no, I mean, it looks, you know, I mean, everything in there looks high end. You know, it's really nice.
Very well thought out. I agree.
And having been on a diet for the last few months, those cookies are looking really good.
Bonnie says she agrees with Navi, and maybe she could have the bottle more behind the cookies. She wanted the bottle to help show the different shapes of the cookie layers.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Having the cookies against white versus against the blue color of the background might stand out a bit more. All right.
Gotcha.
Very cool.
Cool.
And let's move along. Gargoyle.
No, I think that was something else.
Yeah, that's no problem. I love that Andrew Tomlinson shared that video of the drone with sparklers on it.
Oh,
pretty neat. All right, well, this one's pretty sweet. This is from Mark Moore. It's pretty obvious to see what the theme was, and the lighting is great, focus is great. I like the story that you're trying to tell us here. I really think I would have liked it a little bit more if I could read Daytripper photo somewhere in the extra tiles. But that's just me. That's just me. Otherwise, I think it's really neat. Now, my only thought would be the tone. Are these tiles yellow, or are they more of a whitish ivory color? In which case, it would be a white balance thing, right? Like, depending on the lighting used, maybe a different white balance would have made it a little bit bluer, brought out more of a white tone to it, or an ivory tone. What were you saying, Navi?
I think they're yellow.
You think they're yellow?
Yeah.
It's tough to tell, and it's tough to critique on something like that. It's just more of an observation than it is, did you do it right or wrong, you know?
Yeah. I like that he used 2 different E's.
Yes.
I don't know if it was intentional, but I like that.
If it wasn't, it should have been. It's a really nice, a nice addition to it.
And that the funky E is in the middle.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's a 5-letter word, balanced perfectly in the center. I don't know. It's my OCD.
CDO.
CDO, yes.
Yes.
Alphabetical order. I get it.
The way it should be.
So, what are your thoughts, I
like it. Lighting-wise, composition, you know, the fact that he kind of thought it through with sort of placing, I assume, the letters in the middle there with the other letters surrounding it. I see there's a little thing here on the E, unless that's my screen.
Oh, no, I see it too.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, the tiles are actually yellow, guys, just saying.
Okay.
They are, okay.
Yeah. Just saying.
Just this little smudge of probably chocolate chips from the previous photo. Who knows? Maybe they're hanging. But other than that, I like this picture. It's good.
Yeah.
What game is this from? Is it Scrabble? The tiles look different.
Yeah, it's an interesting. It's hard to tell. Maybe we'll get that
an older version.
What do you have anything else to add on this, Gabriel?
I would say, shoot, I had one point. I like the shallow depth of field. I would say that even if the tiles are yellow, one of the things that we're afforded with in photography is that sometimes, sometimes reality isn't as pretty as dragging the white balance thing, So, it's like, well, they are actually yellow. But that doesn't look good, so this is what color they are now, right? So, if this were my picture, I would have adjusted the color balance so that it was, they were more white, even if they were actually yellow. I had one other thing, I can't remember what it was, but I like it. It's a good execution of the word, and I'll probably remember in about 4 pictures the other thing I was going to say.
Well, it's interesting. I don't know if there are 4 pictures left, so hopefully we'll get you remembering that.
Up in bed, middle of the night. Oh yeah, that's right.
All right. Well, thank you, Mark, for submitting the photo for our sweet challenge. Very cool. What else have we got? Oh, here's another sweet. And Kelly says sorry for the cell phone photos, but yeah, awesome. I'll live there. That looks like my home soon to be.
I feel my teeth rotting out of my head.
But it feels so good. All right, well, that's great, Kelly. Thank you. There's 2 shots that you submitted for those.
There you go. Oh, man.
Oh, God, I love candy.
Looking at the sour ones just makes my mouth water. I want to just eat.
Yeah, I had a little bit of a score for Easter this year. So I've got my candies right here. These are my. I should take a picture of this. This is my sweet photo. I'll just put that there. Okay. So, Kelly did submit another photo a little bit later on, which we'll spend a bit more time on.
There we go.
Sweet yellow corn letters. Sweet yellow corn, yellow letters. Okay. Thanks, Blake. Sweet yellow corn, yellow letters. We'll talk about that one later. I want to figure what we mean by that. But first, let's get to Michelle's photo here. Now, of course, Jennifer and Hallie are over the moon for this because there's fire and sweets. Right? Because they've been doing all kinds of fire photos lately.
Yes.
Yes. Hey, Brian, the store is called The Freak Lunchbox. The Freak Lunchbox? Where is that? Kelly just kind of chimed in where she took the pictures with her cell phone.
Oh, is that Von Mills?
Oh, is it like a fairly local thing? Looked like it would be an American thing. I don't know. Just saying.
I think there's a place like that, and I think I remember seeing it in Von Mills.
Gabriel, from now on, you have to punch me every time I say just saying.
Okay.
Just saying.
Okay.
You owe me one. Okay. Has Blake been drinking? Jennifer asks. There's a question. Okay, back to Michelle's photo. Squirrel. We haven't squirreled too much lately. Have you guys noticed? I think we like staying on time.
We did a 25-minute cat squirrel in the beginning.
Yeah, but that's just this show. We've been like not squirreling on a lot of shows. Sweet yellow corn. The color of yellow letters is sweet yellow corn. Okay. Thank you, Blake. We now know that the color of those yellow letters was sweet yellow corn. Okay, Michelle. Love it. I think this is a great photo, and yes, I said it. I love it. It's interesting, and I'm very much like Jen and Hallie. I love the fire. I love having some sort of drama in a photo. The background tone is very nice. The nice black, not quite black, but textured, dark blue, black bottom, mirrored finish is beautiful. It really it complements the cake. The fact that you have light on the front and on the back of the cake gives you definition between that and the background. The background's not drawing my eye away from anything. It's just working for me on every level. What do you think, Navi?
Everything you just said, as well as what Mark Flinder said. Awesome shot, great concept, and perfect execution.
Yeah,
I really noticed like the backlight there. I really like that you can. It's not just a shot that's lit. You know, you can see the front of the cake, and it adds sort of some shape and depth to the subject. So I thought that was really good, and then I like that you see sparkles as well, right? So
there's motion going on.
Yeah, exactly. So awesome shot. I like it, and I want to take a bite of it.
And then she says, unfortunately, the taste wasn't as good as the photo.
Oh.
I don't know what that fully means, but. And Blake, by the way, Blake says yes, he has been drinking. So.
All right.
And Kelly says that store is in Nova Scotia, so I will have to get there soon. Jennifer says Michelle was on fire in the cake. Or behind the cake. Oh, was the fire? She wasn't on fire.
I hope not.
She wasn't in the cake.
You're on or in the cake?
Nope, you're still gone. Oh, there you are.
Who, me?
Yes, you're frozen.
Yeah, you froze again.
Oh, sorry. I can't help it. I don't know.
Did you say what kind of cake this was? More importantly than anything else, what kind of cake was this?
I don't know. It looks really neat.
I want to know what these things are.
They look like peeps.
It's like meringues.
Maybe they're meringues that look like peeps.
Is it meringue? You know those little white fluffy ones that they look fluffy but they're actually crumbly? Anyways.
Yeah, meringue.
Okay, good.
Oh, Michelle says the sparklers were behind the cake, Jennifer.
Ah.
Interesting. See, now we're talking about placement, pre-visualization. Where's this going to be? How's it going to look in the photo? It's really interesting. Now, I want to hear Gabriel's opinion more in just a second because we didn't really ask you yet. But I just have one quick thing. Shooting wrestling portraits on Saturday, I tried something different. I put a flash behind the wrestlers, and I had that lighting up their heads from the back. The first time I used a hair light in the wrestling photos, and it made a huge difference. I really can't underestimate or I can't state enough the importance of having that back lighting on the back of the cake. It adds dimensionality. It adds contrast. I just think it's really cool. Sorry, Gabriel. Go ahead. Tell me what you think.
The only thing with this one, when I first opened it up, I didn't like the crop on it, but it turns out that the little sidebar on the Google Plus Hangout was out, and it was giving it an unnatural crop. And then when it went away, I saw the actual crop on the photo, and I like that a lot better. Yeah, there's not much. The only thing that I didn't like about it was it was a picnic error, problem in chair, not in computer. Yeah,
cool.
Everything you guys said.
Michelle says the cake part was very dry, and the icing part was hit yourself in the face with a brick sweet. It was chocolate cake, and they were chocolate icing balls.
Ah.
Holy moly.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of sweet stuff going on there. Very sweet. It applies to the challenge. Cool. All right. Is there something else to look at?
I think there was. Yes. For sale.
Kelly just submitted these. I had a photo for sale too, but it doesn't really count. So, oh man, so much going on here, but it's not.
You don't need to win a lens pen.
No, I don't. There's a lot going on in the photo, but it's not distracting a lot. What's it say?
Her caption is, "This old shack is full of treasures. In the summer, it is the site of continual yard sale."
Oh, yeah.
Neat.
I think, okay, so this to me is an example of where a lot of stuff going on helps the photo.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really interesting.
Well, it's interesting detail, yeah.
Yes. I agree.
I think I might have tried to crop the top off, made it a 16:9 kind of aspect ratio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just at the roof line where the light is, just above where the little light bulb is, because I like the light bulb detail.
Yeah.
But texture is neat. It's a little bit overexposed. It's a little bit bright, but it's not distracting bright, and it could just be the tone.
Well, it's also, with it being overexposed, it's bringing out the weatheredness of the paint a little bit more too, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it also makes the white snow white.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is super important.
Yeah.
No, it's a great story. Definitely works for sale, and really neat shot. And yes, Kelly does have another photo still, the side of a barn or something, Jen says, and we will get to that right now. There it is. So this is a great. I love this shot too. I think it's well done, having the door off to the left, balancing the big door on the right. The crop, I think, is right on. and it's nice and even. I don't know. I've been told before that I'm a very square shooter. Like I find a lot of very clean, straight lines that I like to stick to. So this does speak to me. What do you think, Navi?
I like it. I like that there's the pattern of the wood, and there's this, which really makes it stand out, aside from the color and contrast. So this is a way better version of your photo, Bryan. Your photo was just terribly done. Way better.
Oh, fine. Hit me when I'm down.
Let's see what she writes in this caption. I love seeing these old weather barns. I didn't have my 24mm lens and couldn't capture the whole barn. They're located right on the side of the road. There you go.
Very cool.
That's great. I mean, you don't need to capture the whole barn. You have the whole story right there.
Yeah, I think this is perfect because you're not getting any other distraction because the story is this here.
Yeah. The only thing with this, I agree with everything that Navi said. Bryan, you're terrible. Your picture was wonderful. The only thing right on the left there, right on the very left, is driving me insane.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of trees in the background.
Yeah, and it's like I'm looking at it, I'm like, is that another board? Is that the pattern on a board, or is that a four? What's going on here? Why is it like it's just driving me nuts? But that's part of my OCD. I would have just cropped that, and this would be another picture that could really take advantage of 16:9. So get maybe no snow on the bottom, get rid of that little bit on the left, and just have a little bit longer photo. But I love the story that it tells. I love that you didn't get the whole barn because it tells everything that it needs to tell just in that photo there. But I would just move that thing on the left because it's driving me nuts.
Do you guys ever have issues cropping images where there's horizontal and vertical lines and trying to, you're trying to balance out one line?
Compensate, yeah.
And so your horizon is straight, but then you have all these weird other straight lines.
I know it sounds weird, but wrestling, that happens all the time because you're shooting kitty corner into a square ring.
Right.
So am I straightening to the ring post, or am I straightening to the back of the auditorium or the gymnasium lines? And yeah, I think you pretty much have to commit to one line and stick to it.
Yeah.
And Gabriel, I agreed with everything you said, except I think I would have left the snow in. I like the snow at the bottom.
Oh yeah, all right.
I think it gives it a base to,
and
it stops your eye from leaving the photo. You get to a defined point.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just me. Bonnie asks, just wondering for future challenges, are we allowed to submit a photo for both of the asks? Yes, you are.
Yeah.
What we would try to do, like there have been a few times where people would post 5 or 6 photos. What we would try and do is kind of cull that down to 1 or 2 to talk about. At least that's what we'd want to do. We ended up talking about all 5, but it's our intent at least to go into that. So if you could do 1 for each team, that's great. Jen says that was the favorite of Kelly's 2 photos. I agree. I like that one best too. And yeah, that's it. Good. The other ones were answered. Very cool. Are there any other photos there, Navi?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, there was one other photo, I believe, that somebody said something. So yeah, here it is.
Cat, please be a cat.
For sale, buddy.
Ah!
I had to go there. I had to show my photo.
Is this the one where you look for Bubs the cat somewhere in it, like a Where's Waldo?
Yeah, where's Bubs?
This
It's got a little picture of Bubs hanging from a branch saying hang in there.
Yeah, right. Hanging from the rooftop or something.
You even look terrified with that face of it.
That was Camp 30. All right, guys, what's that? Oh, Bubs attack.
Hang in there.
Oh, God.
Or let me down. Let me down.
We got to end the show soon because I think Gabriel's going to turn into a pumpkin or something. So let's move along, and I think that's it for the photos, isn't it?
That's it.
All right, cool. So let's talk about next week's photo challenge. For all of you who want to partake in the next photo challenge that we have coming up, it's a different twist. And again, the reason I thought about doing something a little different was just to give somebody, or give you all, a bigger challenge. We've tried to split it up into like an essentials and then an advanced. We have, limited time to get together and plan these things sometimes. So I think I kind of did something different, and I hope everybody likes it. So next week's photo challenge, and this is for the next 2 weeks, remember, I'm going to give it we're calling it the Elemental Challenge. So the four elements: fire, earth, air, and water. And apparently I don't know how to spell earth. Eth is how I pronounce earth. Okay, so fire, earth, air, and water. So what I'm hoping for now, there's only 4, and I'm asking for 5 photos. So this coming next 2 weeks, 5 images that you have to make. 1 to represent fire. Jen, Hallie, you'll love this one. 1 for earth. Who other people will love that one. Air. It could be clouds. It could be anything you want relating to air. It could be reeds blowing. It could be a windmill. It could be whatever you feel represents air. And then water. And then what I want for the 5th photo is an image that ties them all together. Something that kind of brings them all into one, and submit all these 5 in a single album and share them to us for the Elemental Challenge, #Elemental Challenge. All right, guys.
Can I show my favorite water, air, earth, fire picture of all time?
Do it.
I hope it's Captain Planet.
Is that showing?
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that awesome?
Whose photo is that?
I found it on 500 Pics, and I favorited it like 2 years ago. And every now and then, like, this was part of the inspiration for the whiskey shoot. This is like, I mean, this is just fantastic.
Very cool. And you can see Jen is getting all kinds of ideas already. Kelly, you're welcome for the feedback. Thank you for submitting. And thank you to everybody who submitted this week. It was a fun show. I think we had a good time. And hopefully we didn't piss anybody off. So what can you do?
Just remember, this is a photo review. If you agree with us, you're right. If you disagree with us, you're right.
Exactly. Well said. Well said. All right, guys. So that's pretty much it for us this week. Remember the photo challenge, the Elemental Challenge, we're calling it. Earth, fire, air, and water. Like, subscribe, and share our YouTube information and our YouTube channel. Don't forget, if you want to involve yourself in our photo challenge, join the Daytripper photo community on Google Plus and share your photos there and put them in the weekly photo challenge page. And as a quote to end this week's show, I'm going to say...
Wait, we have to choose a winner.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why I always do that. This week's winner... Has somebody got a sound effect queued up?
Yes,
I do one thing
I
at a time.
do.
Mine's scrolling.
My sound effect is right here. Of course I have it ready.
Okay, there we go. The winner for this week's photo challenge, and you know what was funny is we were unanimous on this one, and we picked it out before we even started talking to each other, is Michelle's cake photo. Congratulations, Michelle. Well done.
There it is.
There it is. So good job for you, and well done on that one. Okay, very cool. So, Michelle, I'm going to see you actually on Sunday for our low light action photography class that we still have a few more spaces open for, by the way. So if anybody wants to join the Daytripper Photo low light action shooting wrestling on April the 12th, there are still about 3 or 4 spots open for that. So go right ahead and register for that at daytripperphoto.com. You can see it right down there, daytripperphoto.com. And I did dig out the lens pen prize. Here you go, the lens and tablet cleaner. Awesome. These things are so handy, cleaning your computer monitor, your lenses, you name it. Okay, so that's it, and here's the quote for this week's show. Do we have anything I'm forgetting, guys, before I give the quote? Gabriel? No? Navi? Good? Yay, cake. Okay, so the quote this week is from Ernst Haas, and he says, What? I thought you were going somewhere there, Gabriel. No?
Nope.
Okay, keep talking. The quote is, there is only you and your camera. The limitations in your photography are in yourself. For what we see is what we are. Love that quote. So basically what he's saying is, what you see and what you capture, that's all that matters. It's who you are that is represented in the images you make. So there's only you and your camera. The limitations in your photography are in yourself. For what you see is what you are. So, beautiful quote from Ernst Haas. And that's it for us this week, guys. Thank you all so much for watching, submitting, and I really hope to see some great photos for the Elemental Challenge for the next 2 weeks. The next week's show, will be our topic show, and will most likely be something from Algonquin, because we're planning a day trip out there, pre-trip, for our upcoming Algonquin, or I should say Waterfalls North day trip, coming on April 26th. So that'll be a lot of fun, and hopefully everybody will be watching that one, and it'll be great. Okay, that's it, guys.
Awesome.
Thank you both, Gabriel, Navi, as always, for being on the show this week. You guys are awesome. I love your opinions and really value your help with Daytripper. So thank you so much.
Thanks.
Cool. All right. Signing out. Sayonara. See you guys later. Stop and broadcast.
Some cake.
Have some cake.
Cake rocks.